Alright you guys, in this video I'm going to take you on a little trip. I am flying to Vegas for VRMA and then I'm flying to San Francisco to meet with Airbnb. Day one of the event at VRMA, it's been amazing. This is wild. It's really cool to be a part of this and meet people and just be a sponge. Alright, we made it. Vegas was absolutely amazing for VRMA. It was our first time. Now I'm in San Francisco. We're going to Airbnb HQ. So, pretty cool.
Okay, back in the office. Oh man, what a wild couple days. Couldn't really film all that much because I was just trying to live in the moment. It's one thing that's hard about being a creator. I've been a photographer and videographer pretty much my whole life, but doing all this, entrepreneur business, vacation rental stuff, I'm like bouncing around, traveling from trade show to trade show. I'm really trying to find a great way to film it and document it. But at the same time, I'm really just trying to live in the moment also and capture those special moments that I'm living. That's like a tricky balance that I'm trying to figure out. Plus, I don't want to be walking around the trade show with a camera and pointing it at people's face and trying to get real conversations with them. Sometimes I feel like people might be a little standoffish, me included. So yeah, it's a balance, but I'm back in the office and I wanted to do a recap. So as you can see, I went to Vegas. This was the first time I went to Vegas for the VRMA, which I'll put the link down below. You guys should all join. If you're in the short-term rental business, you should definitely join this link. Bunch of information and whatnot, but the trade show was massive. There was like 2,500 people there. Super, super impressive. It was anywhere from pricing tools to guest communication tools, furniture, smart locks, trash companies, like just everything you can think of was out there. But one thing that I really took away was the communication about advocacy and being a good host and kind of cleaning up our own image internally as well. As you guys all know, I'm always talking about advocacy, trying to be a good voice and be a good neighbor, a good contributor to my city and my state. So this was one thing that a lot of the conversation was around that. And to me, that was really exciting. I got to go to some breakout rooms and meet the leaders in the space that was actually talking about this kind of stuff, giving feedback and tips. So my mind was just completely blown through this experience. A big shout out to VRMA as well. So what they did, which I thought was really cool, and I want to try to figure out how to incorporate that in my own business, but also in my advocacy group in Arizona. So what they did is, as a vacation rental host, I can opt in to donate anywhere from $1 to $5 to the advocacy group at VRMA. Pretty amazing. It's automatic. During these last 3 days, they raised $600,000. Just so impressive. Everybody wants to donate. Everyone wants to help, but some people just don't know how to help. Don't know how to be a voice. Maybe they just have money and they want to help that way, or whatever it is, right? So that fund is going to go towards advocacy, better education, other tools for hosts for best practices. I think that's really, really impressive, and it just goes to show that this industry is changing for the better. It's only growing and it's only getting bigger and bigger. So it's very important for the business side to get more professional as well. So really exciting to me to see that. I hope we can make a lot of positive changes in the hosting community, but also in the eyes of the lawmakers. Now the trade show, for you guys that don't know, basically it's one big giant exhibit hall, and then that's where all the companies get to go in there and share their space and then be able to talk to hosts like myself, anywhere from one property to thousands of properties, and kind of pitch the new stuff and new ideas. For me, one of my biggest goals there was to meet everybody behind the brand. So I've been speaking with like Hostfully and WheelHouse and NoiseAware and Minute and Angel Host and Host GPO and all these amazing companies that are in the short-term rental space, and I really got to go and meet them firsthand. Have an open conversation with these founders and owners about what I really like about the software, what I don't like about the software, questions I had, and whatnot. And I thought that was really cool. As a new creator in the space, I'm really trying to build out that side of my brand. I have the Hilde Homes, which is the vacation rental business, but I'm really trying to build out John Hildebrand brand. And with that, I love educating. I love teaching people about new programs and softwares. So I'm really wanted to go there and meet those people. So one of the ones that really stuck out to me was SuperHog. They've been absolutely amazing. And we got to sit down and have an open conversation about what I like about the program, what I'm having trouble with the program. One thing that I thought was amazing is in Arizona, we're going to have to do registered sex offender checks. And I approached SuperHog about the idea. I told the policy was changing, and SuperHog right then and there is like, okay, we're gonna make this work. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna find an easy solution for you and everyone in Arizona. To me, that's amazing that my voice like that could be heard, and a company like that sees the potential in making those updates, so we can just make Arizona a lot easier to do these sex offender checks on a host. I pretty much go up to like everybody and try to talk to as many people as possible. I've been doing these little Zoom calls all the time where it's just a square, and it was just really cool to see people in person. That was like super rewarding to me. But one of the groups that I talk about all the time, and they've been a massive influence on me in getting into advocacy, is Rent Responsibly. You hear me talking about them all the time. And they're really making a stride to educate hosts about advocacy and best practices. I was so blown away by their group and how much respect they had from everybody at VRMA. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Rent Responsibly just had so much respect in the community. They just do so many good things. And it was just really cool to be able to hang out with them and listen to them and watch other people have questions about it. It was just awesome. It's awesome to be a part of such a strong movement in making our industry better. And Rent Responsibly just does it better than anybody. And I just like blown away that I get to be a part of that. So Dana, who works with Rent Responsibly, also has a podcast. And in Vegas, she asked me if I would like to join to do a live podcast with a bunch of other absolutely amazing industry leaders. And at first I was so nervous and scared, and it was just last minute for me. And it's like, what do I have to contribute next to these absolutely powerhouses in the space? But everybody was really nice. I went up to the room. It was like 6 or 7 of us. We did a podcast. The link is below. I highly suggest you guys check this out. It was live, it was super raw, and we just talked about advocacy and best education and where we think the industry is going and whatnot. But definitely check that out. I was insanely honored to be a part of that small group and speak. Hopefully I did a good job. I hope you guys can tell me in the comments below if you watched it and if how it turned out. That pretty much wraps up Vegas. I'm just sitting here now, just kind of like recapping everything. Obviously, I'll do a bunch of follow-ups, touch base with all the people that I met, but just kind of giving you guys a little insight of what that trade show was all about and my firsthand experience. Again, I didn't really shoot that much. It was just kind of this nonstop 24/7. But then I flew to Airbnb in San Francisco for a 2-day private workshop. Now I thought I would just wrap both of these into one video because my experience at Vegas trade show was one absolutely amazing experience. But then I've been working really close with Airbnb on their program called Ask a Superhost. If you don't know, I'll just give you a rough breakdown. So I was asked to be a part of this pilot program about 2 years ago, and Airbnb had no clue where it was gonna go. I was just in a weird time in my life where I didn't know where I was going career-wise or what I was gonna do for the rest of my life, really, and it was just perfect timing. So when Airbnb asked me, hey, do you wanna be a part of this Ask a Superhost program? We don't know where it's going, we don't know if there's any money involved, but my takeaway from that was, okay, let me learn from the giant in the business. And if I can get closer and closer to these people and learn a bunch of information, then to me that was just a win in general, just to start. But what this program is, it basically started with an idea that a lot of hosts that join Airbnb or any other platform join Airbnb, they don't know what they're doing. It's very overwhelming. They're trying to put in their photos, their listings, permits, descriptions, all this stuff. I mean, I still get nervous. I still get overwhelmed by doing it. So a lot of people drop off, or they just get a bad experience. Maybe they get a bad guess, or maybe they didn't upload it right and they're not getting any bookings, so they just don't come back. So basically what my job is to, when a new host joins the platform, they will be linked up to me, and then I can basically just be like a big brother, mentor, a coach to them, and have someone to lean on. I don't work for Airbnb, I'm a freelance and I'm a host, but it connects us together. And then that way I'm able to help and share my experience with them. And hopefully it's a lot less errors. And I tend to get people booked up pretty quickly. Now, I want to share this because it was, like I said, a pilot program. There was, all kinds of people working on this, but they also in Airbnb working on this, but they also had like a ton of other jobs they did with Airbnb. This was like a side project. So big shout out to everyone in Airbnb that really believed in this program and fought for it and put my name in the bucket and really pushed me to be an ambassador, meaning I have to speak out. I had to do webinars, which I was like beyond scared to do webinars, believe it or not. Like, you have no idea how scary that was for me. But they really coached me through it. They explained it. They helped me build content for it. Without them, there's no way I'd be even doing a YouTube channel. There's no way I would be doing an Instagram like the way I'm doing it. And I don't think I would even remotely be able to buy more houses because I didn't know if I had the confidence to keep growing my business. So big shout out to every single person that was on that team. You all know who you are. Elite ambassadors. So I've been there from like day one. And they invited us to the home office basically for one-on-one workshops, product update, so much exciting news, and just get our feedback and let us learn from them as much as possible. To even say that I could walk into Airbnb, I'm still like emotional about it, to be honest. Like, only about 2 years ago, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I got rid of all my business, all my friends, my whole entire life was in Malibu, and I pretty much quit everything and moved to Arizona, not really knowing what I was doing. And just in 2 years, my life has completely changed, and I thank Airbnb for that so much. So we check into the office. I got to meet all the people behind the scenes. It was so amazing to me to be able to hug them and thank them and just get to know them on more of like a personal level instead of just a Zoom business level all the time. That was really, really cool. Now, this office was insane. It was like 4 or 5 stories. Every single floor had a kind of a different theme. Every office was not cubicles. It was very creative. There was all kinds of different actual Airbnbs that were on the listing. They would recreate them in the office so people can work in it. I mean, just everything was so insane. I don't know if I could ever work in like a huge corporation like that, like going to the office, but every employee there was really, really nice and overly excited. And I think it's because of the work environment. Coffee shops, full-on food, restaurant. I mean, it was like mind-blowing, and it was really cool to see because I've never been in an atmosphere like that before. Now, I had to sign a bunch of NDAs and swear my life away that I would not share this until everything dropped. So I really can't share a lot, but I'm really, really hopeful. As some of you may know, one of my accounts was suspended. Sometimes guest communication is not the best in the world, and sometimes guests are just flat out horrible and you have to kick them out, and maybe they can give a bad review, and like some of that experience does happen. But I'm really hopeful because it sounded like Airbnb has been listening to everybody that is speaking up. They definitely have been listening to me and the ambassador group on all those things, and the updates that are coming in winter are very focused on the host and cleaning up a lot of those. I think that's what I can say. I think that's enough what I could say on that, but pay attention. I'm really, really hopeful on this, and I did learn a lot that Airbnb's heart is always in the right space. It just moves a little slower sometimes, and they can't fix everything as quickly as we think they can. I saw all the steps behind the scenes of what it really takes. Lawyers got to get involved, and then the product team's got to get involved, and the marketing team. There's just so many moving parts, so it does take a while, I've noticed, for things to get updated and changed and whatnot. But with that, I feel really important to say this, that Airbnb's heart is definitely in the right space. I definitely believe that. I've always believed that. And they want good for hosts and guests. It's gotta be a tricky balance. There's a million moving parts going on, but I truly believe that all the employees take insane passion in what they do. And to me, that is one thing that really resonated with me. All the employees were very, very passionate in trying to make a better program on all levels. So be hopeful, you guys, because these updates are really powerful, and I think it's gonna take time, of course, but things are going to get much, much better. But also, one very exciting thing for me is they're going to update the ambassador program, like a lot. And again, I had to sign 5 billion NDAs, so I probably can't tell you much. But anyways, a bunch of updates. It's gonna make my job easier to help host. It's gonna make new host job easier when they join to get connected with me and go through those steps. So to me, that's really, really cool that Airbnb sees that. And a part of me being the advocacy part, I think this is a way for Airbnb to kind of have their foot in the door with advocacy on a different level. Meaning, if you're a new host, you might not even know you need a permit or a license or you need to be a good neighbor. What you don't know, you don't know. So you can't blame those people for that. But someone like me who can teach somebody that from day one of joining a program and joining the hosting program is going to be so valuable to clean up the image, to get better hosts, to get better guests, everything. I think it's going to literally clean up so much of what's going on, and I'm really, really hopeful, and I'm beyond honored to be a part of it. I swear, I got a little tear in my eye. I get a little choked up on this one. I get a little choked up on that one, and I promise I will not, because that would be totally embarrassing. So I'm going to work really hard, you guys, to dedicate a lot more of my time to build out more content for you guys. I really enjoy it, and I like helping people. So hopefully I'm going to be able to step up all my content. I hope you guys like this video. Please comment below the type of questions or comments you have or how I've helped you. Feel free to share the ambassador link to people. Like, let me be a resource to you guys as much as possible. Now, please follow along, follow the journey and whatnot, because what's cool is Airbnb is teaching me so I can teach you. So everything I'm going to be teaching you guys is 100% from Airbnb. Now, they don't tell me what to say, none of that stuff. I'm going to be getting private access to updates before they go live, and I'm going to have a week to 2 weeks to play around with every single update and then take notes and give that feedback back to Airbnb. What? That's insane. Please like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry I couldn't film more during everything, but hopefully you guys still like it. I like it. It was fun.